Good morning. Thanks for checking in today. I'm calling this Yogalignment. It's inspired by Iyengar Yoga. I'm not qualified to teach Iyengar Yoga, but I've taken classes, and just the idea behind it is really emphasizing the alignment that we have in our bodies during yoga. A lot of us do more flow style classes, and of course the alignment is important there. We typically don't have the time to really stop and focus on it. We're moving through the next posture. So I thought it would be a nice opportunity for us to spend a little time focusing on the postures themselves, really getting in touch with our bodies and getting a feeling of how these postures should feel. I'm going to start as I am in Sukhasana, comfortable seated position. And for today, I am sitting on 2 blankets. Get my hips up off the floor. If you've got some blankets, go ahead and get yourself up off the floor if you want to. Try to bring our hips more or less level with our knees. And we're going to start here with that awareness of our sits bones, our ischial tuberosities. These are the bones that your hamstrings connect to. And the feeling of rocking back and forth and grounding to those sits bones, trying to equalize the pressure on the bones. Maybe you never even were aware of this, but maybe you are. Trying to make it feel like you've got the same amount of weight sitting in each hip. And if you feel one side feels lighter than the other, you sort of lean into it. You might feel a little off-center at first. Just go ahead and just try to find that equal pressure in those sits bones. We're stacking the spine tall. Let's roll the shoulders back and down, sliding shoulder blades down the back. Lifting sternum. Drawing abs in and up. This is a very active seated position. We're building in the upper body our mountain pose posture that we'll use later. Shoulders melting down the back. Sternum lifted, nice and active. So we're not just sitting. We are lifted in our posture. Shoulders are back and down. We can just rest our hands on our thighs, palms up or palms down. Sometimes we say palms down is to ground us. Palms up is to receive energy. Whatever you feel you want today. Let me preface this class by saying there are many different schools of yoga, different lineages of yoga. And not all these poses are done the same way in all those lineages. So I'm showing you one way to do the poses. Different instructors, different schools of yoga have different ways of doing them. It's fine. It's whatever's up to you. I'm not giving you some authoritative, you must have this, you must do that. Just giving you the beginnings of the fundamentals of the postures, and then you can tweak them according to your own practice and according to your own body. Everybody's body is different, everybody's postures will look different. While we're here in this nice seated position, still lifting up nice and tall, imagine pressing the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Just let our eyes softly close for a moment. Take a moment to bring awareness to the breath. Just follow the inhales and exhales. We'll practice equal ratio breath today, trying to count the inhale, count the exhale, make them equal. Take a deep inhale through the nose. We'll sigh out through the mouth. We'll seal the lips. Let's breathe in and out through the nose. Let's let our eyes softly open. Let's switch the cross of our legs. We usually have one way of doing things. It's nice to mix it up and do the other way. Again, we'll have to sort of ground ourselves down. As we switched it, it might feel different. Find the grounding. Let's bring awareness back to the breath. This time the quality of the breath. Use that Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath. Just lightly constrict the back of your throat so you can hear your own breath. Sounding like the ocean. Sometimes we call it the Darth Vader breath. Still sitting tall. Still sliding shoulder blades down the back. Just think about drawing your abdominals in as though your navel is drawn in towards your spine. Then up to your cage. All right. So try to keep in mind the feeling you have in your shoulder blades and your sternum, the length of your spine. Let's bring our hands down to the mat. You can kneel on a blanket for comfort for your knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Now again, this is a nice active posture. We're still drawing those abs in, keeping the spine aligned. We're sliding the shoulder blades down the back, just as before we proceeded. We're lengthening the neck. We're making space between our ears and shoulders. We're stabilizing the core. This is the foundation for a couple of different poses. You can do cow by lifting the chest and tailbone forward. Now you'll notice I'm not looking way up like this. I don't want to strain my neck like that or put pressure on my cervical vertebrae. Some practices you'll do that if you want to, that's fine, but I'm just telling you to look a little bit forward. So we get that lifting in the chest, that round arching of the back, without straining the neck. Still sliding shoulder blades down. Let's inhale and exhale, coming into calf. Tucking in, looking down on the knees. Scooping the abs, drawing the navel in, rounding the back up. And again, I said look at the knees. That's a less flexion on your neck than trying to look at your navel. But some practices will say look at your navel, whatever works for you. Let's just slow this a couple of times. Inhale back to cat. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cat. Exhale to cat. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you scoot. Come back to neutral. Come to a child's pose. Now there's options for child's pose. I usually instruct people to bring their toes together, open their knees wide. You needn't open your knees wide if you don't want to. I like to open my knees wide because there's more room for my body to sink down between. Hips are sinking back. Now your hands can come forward. Your forehead can come down to the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, feel free to grab a blanket. If you're in a class with blocks, you can use a block. You can rest your forehead on the block or blanket. You want it supported, not just hanging, not stressing the neck. Hands can be forward. You can also stack your hands under your forehead. You can also reach your hands back at your sides. Child's pose is a resting pose. And while we're here, let's bring awareness to the lower back and hips. And feel those hips sinking back and down. Imagine your spine. It's a series of vertebrae with little discs between them. And imagine how your spine is tractioning and you're decompressing those intervertebral discs, creating length and openness in your spine right now. Child's pose is a great pose. Sort of combat the effects of gravity on your body. And that gentle traction. Let's bring our hands under our shoulders. Press ourselves up slowly. Take a breath. Now curling our toes under, we'll roll back into the balls of our feet. Inhale and exhale, straightening our legs to forward fold. Inhaling, we come up to a halfway lift. Now, halfway lift is again our mountain pose upper body. Still sliding shoulder blades down, still active in the core. It's not just here, it's active, it's energized. And ideally, you're keeping in alignment where you've got that natural curves to your spine. It's not ramrod straight. And I'm supported on my shins with my hands. See how if I lose my alignment, I could touch the stick to my whole back. I can round it up or lose contact somewhere else. So if you've got a stick you want to use for that, it could be a golf club, it could be a broomstick or a mop handle. Hold it behind your back. You have points of contact at your sacrum, between your shoulder blades and in the back of your neck. You might have a challenge just getting to this point here, but the natural curves of your back remain, the lower back and the neck. Then hinging from the hip, this hip crease right here, folding from there, keeping the spine aligned, softening knees, come down to that halfway lift, this way. Draw the abs in, slide the shoulder blades down your back. Let's rise back up. So that hip hinge, that halfway lift, we use quite a bit in yoga and in exercise. Let's come next to one of our foundational poses of yoga, mountain pose. It's not just standing up. If you have access to a door or a wall, go ahead and move to it. If not, do this later on your own. I want to back up and bring my heels to the wall. Now those same points of contact I showed you with my stick, pretty much the same thing here. I've got my lower back or my buttocks here, really my shoulder blades, the back of my head. So I'm nice and aligned, but I still have a curve in my lower back, a curve in my neck. So I'm not in contact all the way down my back. I'm not trying to be. I have my feet about hip width apart. Now in some schools of yoga, your feet are closer together. That's fine. Hip width apart is more stable. Let's roll the shoulder blades back and down. Let's reach out through the fingertips. Nice active fingers, starfish hands. So everything is engaged and active. We're not just standing, we're not here. We're extended, we're lifting up to the crown of the head. Really energized. You might want to lift your toes off the floor, roll them back down one at a time. Really feel the grounding in your feet. Sometimes we say ground through all four corners of your feet. I'm not sure how your feet have four corners. Just go with that. You might want to rock back and forth a little bit to find that sense of grounding into the floor. Our thighs are active. We have a little micro bend in the knee. We're not locking out our legs. We are not locking out our legs. We have a micro bend, but they're very active. The thighs active. We draw your kneecaps up. Still drawing the navel in and up the rib cage. Sternum is lifted. We often say, imagine energy flowing from the front of your body, down the back as your shoulder blades slide down. And also think about your sacrum. Think about sliding your sacrum down, lengthening your lower back. A lot of this work around the anterior tilt. Like this, slide the sacrum down, lengthens the back, makes us into a better posture, makes us look better and feel better. So mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Scan your body. How do your feet feel? They feel grounded. Are your thighs active? Is your core active? Are you drawing in and up? Is your sternum lifted? Are your shoulder blades sliding down? Are your fingers active? Have you forgotten to relax your fingers? Breathe. If you're at the wall, step away from the wall now. So again, I will often say we still have mountain pose in the upper body. So that lifting, that lengthening, that spinal alignment. Let's inhale to sweep the arms up. Let's interlace the fingers with the left pinky on the outside and the right thumb on top. We'll point our fingers up and inhale tall, lengthening up first and then swaying to one side. Feeling lift and openness in the side of your body. When you inhale, your breath lets you expand those ribs. When you exhale, you can sink a little deeper. Use the breath. Lateral flexion. Now, if you don't like to laterally flex, if it's not good for you, come back to center and just lift up. And then take one hand to your hip and lift the other arm up. Just lengthen one side. This gives you some of the same benefit of lateral flexion, but if you don't like to laterally flex or it's not good for your spine, you have this option as well. Let's come down and sweep back up. Interlace with the right pinky on the bottom and the left thumb on top and point the fingers. Inhale tall. Swing the other side. With that option, to bring one hand down, the arm just up and lifting. Trying to open up the side body. If you are flexing, again, you use that breath to expand the ribs and then sink deep. Breath is a great way to expand the ribcage. And we'll come back to center. Bring the arms down. Let's do a little chest expansion. Start by rolling the shoulders back. And we'll interlace the fingers and press our palms together. You can press the knuckles down toward the floor, sliding the shoulder blades down. You can also lift the arms up, pressing the chest out. Opening the front body. We use this chest expansion by itself, like this. We use it in other poses as well, like humble warrior. Breathe and lift. Relax. All right. So into some more of our sort of frequently used poses. Let's practice a warrior one now. Virabhadrasana one. I'll turn in profile to you. I'll mirror you for this, so I'll call it out as a mirror image to you. Let's step back with my left foot into a lunge. I'm going to do a long stance first. I'll do a short stance right after this. So in a long stance, warrior one, our back foot is turned at about 45-degree angle to the edge of the mat. We're trying to line up our heels. My mat has a line down the middle of it, which is very nice for this purpose. I can see exactly where my heels are. Line up. Start with hands on hips. Now, you like to sort of square the hips here, but I always caution, be aware of that back knee. Don't square your hips so much that you twist that knee uncomfortably. So with that awareness of your back knee, that back leg straight and strong, try to press back with your right leg and forward with your left leg, bringing squareness to your hips as much as possible. We want the front knee over the front ankle. So let's go with that as our first priority, knee over ankle. If we can achieve that, we'd also like to have that knee at about a right angle bend. So maybe work your way deeper over time. Arms can be in your hips. In prayer, we can roll our shoulders back for cactus arms, like a cactus, like in a cartoon. We can extend the arms up, again, with lots of energy out to the fingertips. To extend the arms, think about spiraling your pinkies in, opening your shoulders. So it's not this. It's not, it's lengthening. We're creating tension between our hips sinking down and our torso lifting up. So we're lengthening the spine. The body is really energized. I'm going to shorten the stance. This is another option. You can always use this other option in place of long stance. Let's bring hands to hips to start. Now we'll shorten the stance. Bring the feet parallel, kind of like in our pyramid pose, we'll do a little bit later. Front knee over front ankle still. Not as deep a bend. And lateral space between the feet so that, see there's space between my feet when you look at me head on. Now I can square my hips because I have space. I'm not turned this way. I'm square. Short stance, warrior one. Shoulders roll, options for hands. Extend up. Nice and active, all the way out through the fingertips. I had a teacher in college, a dance teacher once. I remember her saying when we're doing something, imagine energy shooting out your fingertips. Let's relax down. Let's turn the other direction. Turning to your left. Stepping back with your right foot to long stance. You can skip long stance if you don't like long stance. You can go right to short stance if you want to. It's fine. Again, that's why we have these options. Heels lined up. Trying to square the hips a little bit. Bringing knee over ankle. Trying to get a right angle bend as much as possible. Rolling shoulders. Options for hands, prayer, cactus, extend it up. And again, settling in. Bringing awareness to the hips, sinking toward the floor. And the rib cage lifting toward the ceiling. And that tension in the body, that lengthening of the spine. Now note that my shoulders are still down. I'm not reaching up to my ears. The shoulders down, it's like a mountain pose. A little shoulder roll will help you accomplish that. A couple more breaths here. Is that back leg still straight and strong? Are you grounding through your back foot? It shouldn't be like this. It should be active, extended. Let's bring our hands to our hips. We'll shorten our stance. So with the front knee bent, parallel feet. Again, that lateral space between our feet for short stance, warrior one. Roll the shoulders back and find our hand position. Take short stance. Really actively press your back foot to the mat. Everything's active, but it's relaxed here. And yet, for all that, we're trying to find the ease in the pose. We're always trying to find ease. So as we activate everything, we find ease in that pose. Relax. Shake it out. So there's more things we can do with Warrior One, but we just get the foundation here today. Let's come to Pyramid. Let's take a step back with the left foot. So now our legs are straight. Now your front knee can be soft. You can play with that. If you were in a class with blocks, you could have blocks down here too. I like to roll the shoulders back to start and lift the rib cage, stack the spine. Again, hinging from the hip crease, pressing the chest down. Remember that stick I put across my back for forward fold? Imagine that stick here. You can bring your hands to your shin to support yourself, or your thigh. Just don't lock out your knee if you have your hand on your thigh. That might go in. Inhale and lengthen through the spine to the top of the head. Pressing the chest down. I give you an option here. You can stay here. You can inhale and exhale and release deeper. Bring your fingertips down to the block, further down your leg or to the mat. Letting the head hang. Get a little bit deeper stretch in your right side hamstrings. Inhale and exhale. Still trying to square those hips. Feeling that stretch in the back of your right thigh. Now let's soften that front knee. Step the back foot forward. Let's come back up to a forward halfway lift. Relax down to forward fold. And we'll sweep up. Hands to heart center. Come to mountain pose. Take a moment to settle into mountain pose. Grounding your feet, activating your thighs, drawing your abs in, pressing up to the crown of your head. It's an active pose. Let's turn to your left. We'll step back with your right foot. Again, the knee can be straight, not locked. It can be a little bit bent more if you prefer. Let's do hands on hips for today. Inhale, lengthen the front body. Exhale, fold from that hip crease. Keep that long spine. Then feel free to bring your hands down to your shin for support, or your thigh, but just please don't lock out your knee. We don't want to have a locked knee that we're pressing into that locked knee. You don't want that. A couple breaths here. You can hang out here if you like. You can inhale and exhale, going deeper, hanging the head, the fingertips down. Pressing the chest and abdomen with the thigh. Deepening the stretch in the left side hamstrings. Breathing, relaxing into it. Both legs are still active. We're grounded into both feet. Don't forget your back leg. It's still there, it's still active. Let's soften the front knee. Step the back foot forward. Inhale and halfway lift. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. Notice in halfway lift, my gaze is mostly on the floor. That keeps me in that alignment that I was showing you earlier. And when you're in a class, you'll be looking at the instructor, obviously, part of the time. But try to get your gaze back down, that neck and spine in line. Inhale and exhale to forward fold. Next inhale, we'll sweep up. Come back to mountain pose. Over here, let's do a little back bend. We'll put our fists on the waist and lift the chest up and just arch back a little bit from the upper part of the spine. Not a huge back bend. And relax. Let's move into warrior two now. You can jump or hop out to a wide stance. Let's pivot your right foot to point to the right side. The left foot, the back foot, is more or less parallel to the back edge of the mat. The heel is perhaps the farthest point from your torso. I'm going to lunge to my right leg, and I'm looking for that right angle bend in the knee if I can get it. The spine is upright. I'm not leaning into it. Upright spine. Back leg straight and strong. Try to ground especially into the outside edge of your back foot. So lots of activity in this leg. Arms open up. Still sliding shoulder blades out. So make a little shoulder roll here. Making space between your ears and shoulders. Turning your gaze out past your right fingertips. Imagine stretching the mat apart between your feet. You really ground down. Again, there's sinking in the hips. There's lifting in the upper body. Now bring your awareness to your pelvis. Sometimes we tend to kind of arch our backs here. Think about that sacrum I showed you earlier. Try to slide the sacrum down, tuck under, and levelize the pelvis. Make it level. That gives you some nice core activation here. A lot to think about. That's why we practice. That's why we started out sitting, just working on one part of the body. We've added parts of the body as we go along. Fundamentals haven't changed. Our spine is stacked. Our shoulders are back and down. Our sternum is lifted. Our abs are drawn in. Let's relax. Take a breath or two here. Let's turn both feet forward. In between our warriors, I'll just sneak something in. With parallel feet, remember chest expansion. Let's roll our shoulders back. Let's interlace our fingers and press our knuckles down toward the floor. Let's lift the front body and then do a forward fold to a halfway lift in a wide stance. Pause. Roll those shoulders back again. Lift the arms up off your back. And continue your descent if you wish. Letting the head hang. Raising the arms up. Opening chest. Raising up the shoulders. A couple of breaths here. Let's release the hands down so the fingertips come to the floor underneath our shoulders. Let's lift up to a flat back, a halfway lift. I like to shift my weight back into my heels here. Bring my hands to my hips and inhale to rise back up. Take a breath. Let's pivot that left heel to point to the left. That right heel, the furthest point from our body, the foot is about parallel to the edge of the mat. We're lunging to the left, trying to bring our right ankle bend to the knee. Now, I forgot to say earlier, you want the knee over the ankle as before. The way to check it is to look down. You should just see your big toe. If you see all of your toes, your leg is probably too far open. If you see none of your toes, it's probably too far swaying in. Try to bring it up and align it so that when you look down, you just see your big toe. That right leg, that back leg is straight and strong. Let's levelize the pelvis, tuck it under. Let's open the arms up and out. Let's gaze out past our left fingertips with a soft, unfocused gaze. Sliding shoulder blades down, finding lift in the upper body. Sinking the hips. Building isometric strength in our legs. A couple of breaths here. Let's relax back to center. Shake it out. So you know that if you take in my classes, I often make a little flow from warrior one to reverse warrior, side angle. I'm not going to flow it today, but I'm going to go through some of these poses. So next time you take a class, you are perhaps more aware of your form as you go through the flow and the poses. Back to our wide stance with our right foot pointing out. Coming back to our same legs we had in warrior two, that right ankle bend in the knee, knee over the ankle, to see the big toe. Coming back to warrior two just for a moment, levelizing the pelvis, packing the shoulders. Let's flip the right palm up, inhale to lift up. Reverse warrior. Back hand can rest on your leg, back leg still nice and active, nice and engaged. Hand can rest here. You can come to half bind behind your back if you like to. Now, for starters, I'm just lengthening up, opening the side body. In some practices, we reach over. Your choice. Just up if that feels good to you, or laterally flex if it feels good to you. Either way, try to bring breath to the right side of your ribcage to expand, and exhale to lengthen more if you can. Reverse warrior. Now from this pose, we will go into side angle. Let's bring that top hand down to your thigh, the forearm to the thigh. The back hand can come straight up for side angle. You can extend out past your ear. Bring your hand down to the mat for extended side angle. I mix these up. I sometimes do extend it with my elbow up here, especially if I'm going to flow it. It's just easier to get in and out of it. Now, whatever angle you're in, try to make a straight line up the side of your body. So it's not this, it's a straight line from your foot to your hip, to your shoulder, to your fingertips, in your side angle of choice. Feel the length. Let's rise back up. Let's pivot our feet. Bring that right foot parallel to the edge, left foot pointing out. Coming back to warrior two for starters, opening up, and then flipping the palm, inhaling to lift. For side body, again, hand can be on the leg, hand can half bind, you can reach up, you can flex, your choice. Let's bring breath into the left side ribs to expand, exhale to sink deeper. Let's inhale and exhale the forearm to the thigh. Bring your arms straight up. Or we can come out to extended side angle. Legs are active. Nice straight line up the body. Breathing. Lengthening. And we'll rise back up. All right. Go ahead and grab your strap or belt. We're going to play with side angle. We're going to practice a bind. We're going to use the strap for assistance. So, let's come to our side angle with our left foot, your right foot coming out the side, left foot back. Let's just do regular side angle with the forearm here and the arm up holding the strap. Now, bring that arm behind you and bend it. With your right arm, your front arm, reach under, grab the strap. Grab it as wide as you need to. Keep the front body open. And this is your bind. The more you practice it, the closer you can have your grip on your strap. Eventually you won't need a strap, you'll just grab your hands. I'm going to turn around so you can see what it looks like from behind. Keep that open and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Side angle with the bind. Down side angle. Let's release it. Let's rise back up. A little more chest expansion in that variation. Left foot to the side. Right foot parallel. Coming to our side angle position. The strap in your right hand. Bring it down behind your back and bend your elbow. My back of my hand is facing on my sacrum. Front hand, left hand reaches under, grabs the strap, and open the front body. To the bind. Still lengthening the spine. If you're all like contorted with the bind, give yourself more strap, more room to open. You should be aligned. Our goal here is to be aligned, not to shorten our grip or anything else. It's to find alignment using the strap as a tool, as a prop. Just relax back up. Nice. Shake it out. Okay. Let's go to a triangle pose now. Often come to triangle from warrior two. We just take our warrior two stance here with the right foot pointing out, the left foot back. Now, in warrior two, I failed to say this, that front heel lines up with the back arch. So if you haven't practiced that yet, practice it now. Now we'll straighten, let's do warrior two. Let's straighten that right leg. I'm going to push the opposite hip, the left hip, out and slide the rib cage to the right, the long spine. So this is not flexion. This is a long spine just hinging at the hip. We'll bring that right hand down, that left arm up. We'll try to stack the shoulders over each other. Hand can be on shin or block or floor. More on triangle pose. Legs are straight. Again, micro bends in the knee, not locked completely. The gaze can be down, forward, or up. Triangle. Imagine being pressed between panes of glass. Your body's nice and flat. Things are nicely aligned. Let's rise back up. Let's switch our warrior two. Turning to the left. The left foot pointing out, the left heel lining up with the right arch. From warrior two, straightening the leg. Perhaps shortening the stance a tiny bit, pushing the right hip out, sliding the cage to the left. Left hand down, right arm up. Gaze can be down, forward or up. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Opening your front body. Breathing. Rising back up. If you've got a strap or a longish belt, we can try a triangle pose with the strap behind our back and extended. Coming into that triangle here, using the strap to create more openness. I'm not going to stay here too long because I imagine most of you don't have a strap, but something you can play with if you have a strap. Strap behind the back helps you open up the front body. Up to the other side. Nice opening stretch. Back up. All right. Let's practice one of our popular balance poses, tree pose. Now, if you're at home on the carpet, you have a little extra challenge because it's squishier. It's not as stable. If you have a mat on carpet, it's even squishier. So if you're in a class with a solid floor, it's easier. I often cheat. Step onto the solid floor. Let's come to mountain pose with hands at heart center. Spine stacked, shoulders sliding down the back. Try to find that lift in your body. Use that lift in your tree pose to help you balance. Let's lift our toes off the floor and ground them down so we're nice and stable. Now shifting the weight into the right foot. My first option for tree pose is to bring the left leg out to the side like a kickstand. Just resting the toe so you can see it there. And balancing here. I'm trying to ground my weight into my right foot. Second option is to bring my heel to my ankle, the hip open. Third option is to bring my foot to my calf, still with the hip open. And finally, I can bring my foot to my thigh, never on the knee. We don't want to push the knee joint out. We can bring it up to the thigh. And then seal that foot against that thigh, press the thigh against the foot, press the foot against the thigh, create that dynamic tension, help you stabilize and balance. Grow your tree, like. You can imagine sky hooks you grab onto to help you stabilize. Oops. Come back to heart center. Bring it down. We'll shake it out. Back to mountain, grounding the feet. Pressing into the left foot now, really creating that seal of the foot to the floor. Option one, right foot to the side. Just kickstanding yourself upright. Trying to balance on that left foot. Option two, heel to ankle, hip is open. Option three, foot to calf, hip is open. Option four, foot to thigh, not the knee. Swing the foot against the thigh against the foot, creating tension. Packing the shoulders, lifting the sternum. Option to grow the tree. Grab the sky hooks. Bring it back down. Release it. Shake it out. Okay. Let's move down to the mat now. Do some of our seated poses. And here again, blankets are very nice to sit on. We're going to do Dandasana staff pose first. And sometimes the blanket's more comfortable. The legs have a little more room here. So, I've got parallel feet. I've got legs extended. Shake them out to start. We have mountain pose in the upper body. Spine is stacked, sternum is lifted, abs are in. Shoulder blades sliding down. You put your fingertips to your side. I put them behind sometimes. Use them to press my chest up and lift. This is staff pose. Just finding that extension in the spine. If this is uncomfortable, pile more blankets up. You can always use more blankets to get yourself at a level where you can do this comfortably. Sometimes I like to inhale tall and just press forward ever so slightly. Still with that aligned spine. Got it? Now, I'll hold this for a few breaths. This really makes you engage your core, and we need that. But I will take it to a forward fold. Inhale, tall. Exhale, lean forward. Now, in some practices, we keep the spine long the whole time. I like to inhale, exhale, release, and round over at some point. Reaching forward, letting the head hang, grabbing shins, grabbing feet or toes, inhaling and exhaling. Here we can use our sinking breath. Our sinking breath lets us maintain our position as we inhale, then sink on the exhale. Inhale, maintain, exhale, and sink. This brings the stretch out of our hamstrings into our lower back. A few breaths here. Relax. Sit back up. Let's take a bridge pose next. On our backs. Heels are close to the back side. Typically we say we like to be able to brush our fingertips to our heels. That's accessible to you. Feet are about hip width apart, not close together, but hip width apart. Tap your shoulder blades down and ground them into the floor. Ground into your feet. On your inhale, we'll lift the hips up. Now, in conventional exercise, we typically don't arch the back a whole lot. We keep a straight hip. In yoga, we often arch the back more. It's up to you. You know your own back, hopefully. So if it's problematic to arch it, just keep the hips straight like I have them here. Ground them into the heels. If you'd like to get more arch, you can lift up higher. Pressing down into your heels. You can also walk your shoulder blades under to get more lift. You can also interlace your fingers and press your knuckles towards your feet to get more lift. Couple breaths. Relax back down. Now, I've been taught bridges different ways. Typically, we would say you really engage your glutes to straighten your hip and lift. I've had classes where they say don't engage your glutes, use your quads. Your quads straighten your leg. So if I try to straighten my leg, that gives me this movement with my quads. My glutes are actually relaxed right now. So I'm going to leave that to you. You can really do both because everything works here. Now, if you have a strap or a belt, we can also put that around our ankles and hold with both hands and come into the bridge of choice and then use that strap to pull and get you a little bit more lift into your bridge, whatever option you're choosing. You can still walk your shoulders under here and find the bridge that you like best. The strap is just a prop you can use to enhance the pose. It's not required. Let's relax back down. Let's hug knees to chest to release the back a little bit. Let's sit up. Let's do a locust pose, just so we hit that part of the body as well. And come onto our bellies. Different options here. Let's start with our arms at our sides. Sliding shoulder blades down, a bit of lift in the chest. Keep the head off the floor. Now you can lift your upper body just enough to feel the lower back muscles engage. Not trying to hyperextend, not trying to get a real severe back bend here. Just activating the muscles. Lower the head down, turn in one direction or the other. You can lift the legs off the floor, knees and thighs together. Again, activating. Feeling the glutes engage, the lower back. Relax back down. You can repeat either of those. You can do both together. Lifting. Now, arms at my side. It's a short lever. It's a nice place to start your pose. The further out or up your arms come, the more challenging it is. Just turn your head the other way and come back down. Let's do one more. Either do upper or lower, or both. Sliding shoulder blades down the back, lifting sternum. Locust pose. So relax down. Let's just press ourselves back to child's pose. So I've got my toes together, my knees wide. That's how I like it. However you like it. Set your heels. Hands can come forward. Hands can come up to your forehead or come back to your sides. Stretch out that back. Sometimes we do what we call counter poses. So that locust pose is extending the spine. The child's pose releases it. Counter poses help us recover from the pose we just did. Slowly walk our hands in. Come to a seated position. Let's drop to one hip. Swing our legs back around. Shake them out. Let's just cradle the baby to open our hips today. I'm mirroring you. Don't get confused. With your right hand, grab your left foot. With your left hand, grab your left knee and hug it in. You have an option here to catch the foot and the knee and the bend of your elbow as well. Stack your spine, lift your sternum, cradle the baby, just rock it out, opening the hip. Eventually, put our leg behind our head. Right. Hip opening, spine stacked, nice and tall. Let's release that. Shake it out. We'll switch sides. With your left hand, grab your right foot. With your right hand, grab your right knee. Cradle the baby. Option to catch the foot, the knee, the bend of your elbow. But sit up tall. Stack your spine tall. Rock it out. Release it. Let's come down to our backs. We'll have a short Shavasana, which is our final relaxation. It's our corpse pose. Two ways to get there. One, you can grab one knee, roll yourself down. Or you can also extend your legs, extend your arms, shifting your center of gravity forward. Inhale tall. Exhale, scoop the abs under and roll down. One vertebra at a time. Coming onto our backs. Feel free to put a blanket under your head, under your knees, whatever you would like. Let your eyes softly close. Let your feet fall out to the side. Palms turned up. Try to feel yourself melting into the floor. Try to feel that everything is supported. If there's any effort in your body at all, try to make adjustments so you feel grounded. And as you feel grounded, Begin to scan the body. Start at the forehead and release any tension there. Let's relax the muscles around the eyes. Soften the jaw. You may want to release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your neck. Just feel your shoulder blades melting into the mat. Your arms are relaxed. Your fingers may just be lightly curled. Feel your spine sinking into the mat. Feel your abdominals sinking into your core. Hips are grounded. Legs are relaxed and loose. Feet are just falling out to the side. You're fully grounded. You're fully supported. Bring awareness back to the breath. Just observing the inhales and the exhales. Try to keep our focus on the breath. If any other thoughts drift through your mind, just observe them, let them go. This is quiet time. Follow your breath. And go deeper into your Shavasana. Let's begin to deepen our breath, coming back into the body. Perhaps we rock the head from side to side. Perhaps we wiggle our fingers and toes. Circle our wrists and ankles in one direction. Reverse, circle the other direction. Bending our knees. Let's plant our feet at the edges of the mat so our knees fall inward. Just let those knees sway from side to side. Find that they rise and fall like ocean waves, crashing in the middle. And then we're going to roll to one side, stacking shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip, resting the hand on the arm, breathing. And then with as little effort as possible, we press ourselves back to our comfortable seated position. Stacking the spine, packing the shoulders, finding lift in the torso, drawing the abs in. Let's bring hands to heart center. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste. So I hope you've gotten some benefit from this. I hope you find a little more awareness of your body. And that awareness carries through beyond the yoga class. That's something you take with you all the time. But when you're in yoga class, I hope you have more sense of, is my leg straight? Do I have energy in my fingertips? Is my core engaged? These are all things that come with time. And the more we practice the yoga, the more naturally these things come to us. I know that the thing standing against the wall, for instance, might feel really unnatural to some people because you're so used to having your head further forward or whatever. So that's where we need to be. So even though things might not feel completely natural, try to find that alignment. When our head is further forward, that's a lot of weight to carry out here in front of us. It causes some pain and headaches sometimes. So learning to stack that spine, keep that head upright, it's very good for us all the time. Again, thanks for being here today. See you next time.